magical family, welcome back to my channel, The Wizarding Sibs. Today I am coming at you with my thoughts on the latest Fantastic Beasts 3 movie, Secrets of Dumbledore. So let's get to it. It has actually been a couple of weeks since I've been able to see the Fantastic Beasts movie. I actually was invited out by Warner Brothers Canada to an advanced early screening on April 6th in IMAX theaters to see the movie before the general public, and it was an amazing experience. To go from COVID and not being in a movie theater for, 2 years to going into a full theater with Harry Potter fans and everyone enjoying the moment, it was a surreal experience. So thank you again, Warner Brothers, for inviting me out. As some of you guys may know, I love collecting Fantastic Beasts, such as my owl over here, but I am actually not the biggest fan of Fantastic Beasts, the movies. Am I allowed to say that? Don't get me wrong, I love that the movies are going on and that the magic is continuing and that the wizarding world is being expanded and that we have something to look forward to in the years to come. But I am one of those annoying Harry Potter fans that kind of sticks to original canon and a bit rigid in that sense. I unfortunately did not have time to rewatch the 2 previous Fantastic Beasts movies, and to be honest, I wasn't really feeling it. So I'm sorry if I cannot remember all the details. I don't want to spoil the whole movie, but definitely there are some spoilers that I will have to say just because my comments have to do with that. So if you want no spoilers at all, feel free to skip over this video. The movie starts off with the International Confederation of Wizards about to elect their latest Supreme Mugwump, which is basically the leader of the Wizarding World version of the United Nations. And GrindelWald happens to be in Azkaban at the time. However, of course, there are political shenanigans that happen, and the Confederation ends up forgiving GrindelWald for his crimes or saying that there is just not enough evidence to persecute him. So he ends up becoming free, and he decides to actually run to be the next Mugwump. In the very first scene of the movie, we actually get to see Newt Scamander in action, and we get to witness the birth of a very rare magical fantastic beast called the Qilin. In the movie, they actually say Qilin, and honestly, I had no idea what they were talking about. The Qilin is actually a Chinese mythical beast that is legendary and known also in Japanese and Korean culture. It's known to arise when there is the rise of a new noble and just ruler. Besides being a very fearsome beast, it's actually supposed to be able to discern good and evil very well. In the Ming Dynasty, the emperor actually used to receive fantastic beasts from all over the world, and one of them was actually a giraffe. When the people in China saw the giraffe, they were astounded because they've never seen a beast like that before, and they actually thought that that was the mystical, legendary Qilin. So that is why in Korean and I believe in Japanese language, they use the word Kirin to describe giraffe to this day, which is the same word as Qilin in Chinese. The Qilin in history is depicted often in various forms, usually in the form of a dragon, but it also can be in a deer, horse. It's quite fearsome looking. So while I love that the Fantastic Beasts saga took from Asian culture, I did not really like how they depicted the Qilin. To be fair, they did show a baby version, so it looked like a really weird baby deformed alien deer, and to me it did not seem fearsome enough. So as I mentioned, in history, the Qilin is actually a beast that can choose who the next leader is because they have the power to see who is worthy. So what GrindelWald does is he uses the Qilin's magical abilities as a tool to legitimize his run for candidacy as the leader of the Wizarding World. So as I get into the meat of my commentary, I think I am going to use the sandwich model, talk about what was good, what was bad. I love that the Harry Potter world is continuing and that we were reintroduced to the magic. I like that the Wizarding World was expanded and we got to see different areas of the world, even as far as Germany and Bhutan. We got to see the Minister of Magic of Brazil, of China, Germany. I loved all of that. And it was the fact that we were able to go back to Hogwarts was just so nostalgic. There were characters in this movie that got a larger role, such as Professor Lally Hicks, and she was amazing. She just brought so much charisma to the screen. And of course, the big controversy was Mads Mikkelsen as the new GrindelWald. As you may know, there was a lot of political drama about Johnny Depp being fired from Warner Brothers. However, I knew that Mads Mikkelsen would be able to deliver just because of the past movies that he was in, and he killed the role of Grindelwald. Mads Mikkelsen was GrindelVald. Johnny Depp, I love him as an actor. I had the biggest crush on him when I was a tween, but he always had a bit of Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp to him that he never could really let go of, whereas Mads Mikkelsen really became Grindelwald and was able to bring such charisma and power to the screen that you can understand why Grindelwald ended up gaining followers. In terms of the issues with the Fantastic Beasts, like I said, I am not the biggest fan of the Fantastic Beasts series. I just think the plot is way too convoluted. I think there are too many plot lines. I think there are too many characters. I was never able to build rapport or feel anything for the characters in Fantastic Beasts, like Queenie, Jacob, Tina. I just don't care about them. I just find them all very, very boring. Newt Scamander I did like, but once again, there's too many plot lines, so he was sidelined. So even though this is Fantastic Beasts, Newt is around and they keep saying how he played a large role, but I don't see how. Like, he just was kind of a side character to me. And of course, Credence. Let's talk about Credence. Creepy Credence. I'm sorry, I don't feel anything for him either. Maybe I'm very cold-hearted. I know he had a difficult childhood, but honestly, I could not care less about his plotline or that he's the Obscurus. I don't understand any of that. Like, I don't know why this was never really mentioned in Harry Potter. I don't like how they are trying to jam both of the timelines together and make every single character connect. Like, you don't have to do that. So for Credence, in this movie, he is ailing. He is actually dying, and he was very weak at one point and like struggling up the stairs. And I mean, honestly, me and my brother were just like laughing the entire time and being like, die, Credence, die. I hope this video doesn't get banned, but honestly, we were laughing while he was like becoming more weak because we wanted him gone, and people behind me in the theater were like sobbing away, and I didn't get that. Anyways, so that's just my 2 cents on the Credence storyline and the big reveal that they had at the end about who he was related to. Just, I don't know, it did not make sense to me. It just felt so forced. I am not one to be a stickler for timelines, but to me, I just don't think the timelines really match. I mean, if they do, then Dumbledore aged really fast. The other thing is, just in general, I'm not the biggest fan of slapstick humor, and I find that in Fantastic Beasts, they use a lot of that, or they use like Jacob as a vehicle for the audience to just laugh at, and I just find it really forced. Or even the dance. I know everyone loves the dance. I think it was really entertaining, but I feel like it was so hyped up, the dance. I cannot solo my hips like that. So overall, the Fantastic Beasts 3 movie was #1 in, I guess, the box offices, but if you compare its performance to previous Fantastic Beasts movies, it has not been doing well. And the reviews of the movies were actually very interesting to read because all of them were quite negative. So I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about this movie. Do you agree with the reviewers? Do you agree with any of the points that I said? Or do you think that I'm crazy and being too harsh? But I love that the Wizarding World was brought back to life again. I appreciate how much the cast and crew worked on this movie. It was filmed beautifully. Once again, it brought us back into that magic of Hogwarts, and it was so nice to step foot again in the Great Hall and just see all the magic that was going around. Yeah, so overall, very entertaining movie. I would just say don't go in with high expectations and just sit back and relax and enjoy. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. Stay magical.